So we are going to simplify this expression. So first we got to use the distributive property, and when you do a times 2a, you get 2a squared. And then a times negative 3 would be negative 3a, plus 6a minus 3 minus 2a squared plus 5. The 2a squareds cancel out because one's positive, one's negative. Negative 3a plus 6a makes 3a, and negative 3 plus 5 makes positive 2. This one wants us to evaluate, so that means we're going to plug in 2 for a and negative 3 for b. So that would be 2 parentheses 3 minus negative 3, which we know that just becomes 3 plus 3 minus 2. And then we have b plus a, so negative 3 plus 2 minus 5 times a, so 5 times 2. So in the first set of parentheses, we got 3 plus 3 is 6 times the 2 out front makes 12. The second set, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1 times the negative 2 is positive 2, and negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. So we've got 12 plus 2 is 14, minus 10 is 4. Number 3, we need to write that in interval notation. So our graph starts here at negative 2 and stops there at 3, and they are closed dots, so they are both brackets. Number 4, we have to solve this inequality. So first we need to distribute in the middle. So we have 2x minus 4. Then we add 4 on both ends and get negative 2 on the left side, 16 on the right side. Divide everything by 2, leaves us with negative 1, x, and 8. So our interval would be negative 1 to 8. The negative 1 gets a parenthesis because it does not have the equal to, but the 8 gets a bracket because it does have equal to. Number 5, if x is negative 2, solve this equation for k. So everywhere there is an x, we're going to put a negative 2. So that would be 3. That would become 2 plus 2 because we have two negatives, plus 3k equals 2, parentheses, negative 2 plus k plus 10. So 2 plus 2 is 4, times the 3 makes 12 plus 3k. That makes negative 4 plus 2k plus 10. If I add the negative 4 and the 10 together, I have 6. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 2k and subtract the 12 at the same time, and we get k equals negative 6. Here we have a compound inequality. Write our answer in interval notation. So we've got two inequalities here, and it's OR. So the first one, we would have 3x minus 2x minus 4 is less than negative 5. So x minus 4 is less than negative 5. So x would be less than negative 1. Or we have divide by that negative 3 right there. And when we divide by a negative, we have to remember to flip our inequality, so x would be greater than negative 1. So to draw a picture of that, the only number we have is negative 1. We have x is less than negative 1, and we have x is greater than negative 1. But they do not have the equal to sign, so our dot is open. So our interval would be negative infinity to negative 1, union negative 1 to infinity. Number 7, we have a quadrilateral. So that means we have something that has 4 sides. The ratio of the sides is 1 to 2 to 3 to 6. That means 1x, 2x, 3x, and 6x. So I'm just going to say this one's 1, this one's 2, this one's 3, and this one's 6. It tells us the perimeter is 138. So we have to add all that up and set it equal to 138. So we would have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12x would equal 138. When you divide by 12, you get 11.5. So that means that this side would be 11.5 centimeters. It asks us to find all the sides, so you would just plug x back in to get all the sides. Number 8, we have to tell what type of number this is. It's 5.38769 ... That means it goes on forever and it's not repeating. So it is real and irrational. If it repeated or if it stopped, it would be rational instead. It would not ever be a whole number, an integer, or a natural number because it's a decimal. Number 9, we have to solve this for x. First step is to multiply both sides by 3. When you do, that cancels. So you have bx minus a equal to 3x plus 9a. Anything with an x, we want to get to the left side. Anything without, get to the right. So we are going to subtract that 3x and add that a and get 10a. Reverse distribute. Leaves us with b minus 3 equals 10a. Divide by b minus 3, so we have 10a over b minus 3. We're going to write this in interval notation. I like to draw a graph of it first. So we have -2, we have 4, we have x is less than 4, and we have x is greater than -2. So and means where they overlap. Well, they overlap right here. So our answer is -2 to 4, both parentheses because they are both open dots. Number 11, we have another inequality to solve. Distribute, you have 2x minus 6 is greater than 2x plus 5. The 2x is canceled, so I have -6 is greater than 5. -6 is not greater than 5, so that is no solution. If it would have said -6 is less than 5, then it would have been infinite solutions. We have to do true, false. The set of negative integers are closed under division. That is false. If I divide two negatives, they become a positive. The set of whole numbers is closed under multiplication. That's true. Anytime you multiply two whole numbers, it's still a whole number. The set of positive integers is closed under division. That is false, because I could do 1 divided by 2, and that is no longer a positive integer. 4 consecutive odd integers are such that their sum is 336. So we have n plus 2, n plus 4, and n plus 6. Their sum is 336. So if you add them all up, you have 4 n's, and add up all the numbers, you have 2, 4, 10, nope, 2, 4, and 6 added together makes 12. So now if I subtract 12 and divide by 4, I get n to be 81. The question says, what is the value of twice the greatest? So twice the greatest, we got to figure out what our numbers are. So this one's 81, 83, 85, 87. So twice the greatest would be 2 times 87. Decreased means minus. 3 times the least, so 3 times 81. If you do 2 times 87 minus 3 times 81, you get -69 is your answer. We have to write this into interval notation. So this part starts at -infinity and stops at -5 with a parenthesis because the dot is open. Then we have a union because we have this other piece that starts at 3 with a bracket because the dot is closed and stops at positive infinity. We have another inequality that we have to solve and put into interval notation. So distribute in the middle, you would have 2x minus 2. Add 2 on both ends, you would have -4, 2x, and 10. Divide everything by 2, so you'd have -2x and 5. So this interval starts at -2, it stops at 5. -2 does not have the equal sign, so it's a parenthesis. 5 does, so it's a bracket. On 16, if x is 3, we're going to solve for k. So we would have k, 3 plus 2 equals 3. 3 minus k plus 15. So 3 plus 2 is 5, so this is 5k. 9 minus 3k plus 15. So I would have 5k equals -3k plus 24. Add your 3k, gives you 8k. Divide by 8, so k would be 3. Which of the following inequalities would result in the final solution of this graphed interval? So So this first one, if I divide both sides by 2, I would have x is less than -1. Or if I subtract 4 on both sides here, I would have x is greater than -1. So that means that the only thing in that interval would be the -1 that I would not want as my answer, which is exactly what that graph is. This next one, I would have 3x minus 2x minus 4 is less than -5. And on the other side, I have that -3x is less than 3. So if I solve this, I would have x minus 4 is less than -5. I add the 4, I get x is less than -1. This one, divide by -3, flip our inequality, so x is greater than -1. So it says or, so that is the same thing as that's graphed there. This one I don't even have to do because it says and I know that this is an or graph, so I don't even have to solve it. So 1 and 2 were my answers. Next one, we have a rectangle, and its length and width are the ratio 9 to 5. That just means that this is 5x and this is 9x. So I know the perimeter is 560. So if I add 9x, 9x, 5x, and 5x, I get 28x. Now I divide by 28, so x would be 20. I want to know the area. So this, if I multiply this by 20, that would be 180, and this would be 100. So to get the area, I do 180 times 100. So my area would be 1,800 centimeters squared. Number 19, to solve this for x, I got to multiply by 2 first. So that leaves me with bx plus c equals 2c plus 8x. Anything with an x needs to be on the left side, so I have bx minus that 8x. And if I subtract c from 2c, I just have c. Reverse distribute, take out that x and leaves me with b minus 8. Divide by it, so I have c over b minus 8. Number 20, I need to write that in an interval notation, so let's graph it. My numbers are 5 and 6. 5 is a closed dot, and 6 is an open dot. I need less than 5 and bigger than 6. If that was or, it would be -infinity to 5 and 6 to infinity, but it's not, it's and. So and means where they overlap, and this graph does not overlap, so it's no solution. Solve this inequality, write your answer as an interval. So I have -2 bracket 6x, distribute this negative, leaves me with -x minus 2 is greater than 8x minus 36. Inside I have 5x times the -2 up front gives me -10x, and -2 times -2 would be +4. Now I'm going to subtract the 8 and gives me -18x. Subtract the 4 and get -40. Now I'm going to divide by -18. So when I divide by a negative, I'm going to have to flip my sign around. So I would have 40 over 18, which would reduce to 20 over 9. So my interval, since it says less than, would be -infinity to 20 over 9. 20 over 9 needs a parenthesis because it does not have an equal to sign on it. Alright, we got to figure out which ones are false. The set of whole numbers is closed under division. That is false because if you divide, you can get a fraction, like 1 over 2. The set of positive integers is closed under multiplication. That is true, because every time you multiply 2 positive integers, it's still a positive integer. The set of integers are closed under division. That's false. Just like the first one, you could get a decimal or a fraction. The negative integers are closed under multiplication. That is also false, because if you multiply 2 negatives, you get a positive. 23, we have 4 consecutive odd integers. So we have n plus 2, n plus 4, and n plus 6. They are such that 3 times the least, so 3 times n, decreased by 4 times the greatest, so 4 times n plus 6, results in 25. We need to find, this is supposed to say, find what is the second integer, not the middle. There's not a middle when you have 4. So this would be 3n minus 4n minus 24 equals 25. So I would have negative n. If I add that 24, I would have 49. So n would be negative 49. So negative 49, negative 47, negative 45, negative 43. So our answer is negative 47.